everybody, good evening and welcome to the test round of the Antara Boxer Cup by Automobilista Australia. Just, yeah, as the name suggests, the test round here at Caruaru. I'm just going to butcher that name online, so I just strap myself in and get ready for that. But we've just had qualifying. Where at this circuit in the one lap format it does DQ people that don't drive back to the pit, so I've had to do a little batch file to sort that out. About a minute and a half away, waiting for Santino to get back in the server, but he's been having issues with the board, so if he doesn't get back in shortly, we will be going for race 1. Haven't got any other graphics aside from the splash screen going, so apologise for that, but we'll just have a little brief overview of what this series is all about. Now, we did back in the day, back in 2018, and I do believe maybe even the early part of 2019 at Automobilista Australia, we did run a what was initially a Super Series, which was multi-class with the Mitsubishi Lancer, I think it's the RS version, one with the BR's wing, and of course the Boxer Cup cars. Everybody chose the Boxer Cup cars, so it was pretty much known as the Boxer Cup or the Porsche Cup. And then, of course, we ran another season which was just solely the Boxer Cup cars. So this will be the third iteration of the series, and going by registrations and all the liveries that have been submitted, we're going to have a bumper season with over 30 drivers registered. Currently 20 drivers here in the test round, which is fantastic to see. Now, round 1 is about 2 weeks away, and that is from Long Beach, the 2000 layout. So we do have 9 rounds, not including, well, 9 official rounds, and then of course tonight the test round from Caruaru. We have 3 different formats to it, which are the same, albeit one is reverse, and we do have one sort of quote-unquote endurance round, which is the single race format, so about 50 minutes long, not quite in a proper endurance round, but in these cars, with the tyre wear at ×2 and the fuel usage at ×2, it will be a bit of a stretch. Has ticked over to the race session, as I'm sure you've heard in the background. But just a brief overview as we wait for these drivers to form up on the grid. So as you can see, Will Devonish did get pole position. But yeah, we do have 3 different types of formats. The longer endurance round, which is at the Imola circuit, the 2018 or the modern layout, and the normal or standard round comprises of obviously a practice, qualifying, and then a feature race, or sorry, a sprint race, and then the feature race, and then we have the alternate with the feature race being first, the sprint race being second. Now, in regards to the format, there isn't a second qualifying session. The grid for the second race comprises of the finishing order of race number 1, although the top 8 are reversed. So that'll give those guys in the midfield an incentive to push on and try and sneak in and possibly get a reverse grid pole position. Anyway, the formation lap has begun. That was a run through the 20-car field for the feature race this evening. So Will Devonish will start race 1, the feature race, from pole position. Then we have Peter in second. Steve Bolger will start in third for Turbo Engineering. Wayne Spencer, impressive qualifying and pace from him in these cars. He starts fourth. Hans Brunswick for Akuri Brunswick will start in P5. And then we have Tim Redmond in the guest car. Did have a livery made, but he wasn't sure if he could make it, so the livery wasn't included in the pack. But should he register, he will have his livery added to the pack. It was a very nice livery made as well. Those in the AMSOZ Discord should take a look. Guy Mitch will start in 7th in one of the best looking liveries in the field. Steve Burko will start in 9th, followed by Ujit Mishra. Just have a look at the grass. Did some lawn mowing for Singapore Airlines there. We have Brendan Ross for FCR Motorsport. His teammate Dwayne Davies not here this evening. Then we have Turmo for Turmo Engineering starting 11th. Lachlan Locke will start in 12th place. Darren Kemp 13th. Glenn Miles in 14th, followed by Bagacino, who is starting from the pits, it seems. Wayne Whitmore in 16th. Brody in 17th, followed by Netherrealm, who did have a self-imposed sort of rear grid penalty imposed for blocking Wayne Whitmore in qualifying. Cracker, a late joiner, will start 19th, and Daniel Cox, another late joiner, in a nice livery there, will start from the back of the grid. So just bear with me for a moment. Just going to sort some things out here. Hopefully won't miss the start. And as you can see immediately, Devonish has angled his car over quite a ways. I wonder if that's means he's out of position. Also got Brody had a car drop out there. Back in, there's anyway, lights are on. Away we go, cool start. Devonish sideways, great start from Wayne Spencer, and they're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. Bolger's looking to make it up the inside. He's going to run wide, and bit of contact between Hans and Lion Mitch there. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Looking at that at the time, and Mishra a little bit wide there as well, so we'll just cut to a replay and just see what happened there with Hans. So he just lost the rear there, perhaps a little bit of contact, and then contact with the live edge. So it's all happening here at the start. Wayne Spencer and Bolger both up a few spots, but Spencer leads. Bolger up into second. Peter and Devonish side by side now. And they've got Redmond banging doors there. Now leading on to the back straight. Devonish does slot into third place, sitting right behind Steve Bolger. Now the car ahead at that chicane has right of way. So Redmond has a little bit of a look there, and Peter Savage. And that's a little bit of argy-bargy back there, so we'll just have a look here. That was Hans. It was a bit sideways there. He's got a serve there from line Mitch, and another one sort of straightened him out there. And lagging all over the place. He's going to have to sort his internet out. He's lagging a little bit in Super 2, so now there's dropped fairway off the back of the pack as well. But Wayne Spencer, a little bit of a lead here. And then we've got Bolger and Devonish, second and third. Pete just a little bit off the back of Devonish in the Vodafone car. Redmond, so the front 5 breaking away. Then we've got Burko under attack from Mishra. Looks to be a lot more comfortable in these things as opposed to the supercar. Side by side with Burko now. Just double apex left-hander. Burko's wide and on the grass, and he's going to go way off. And Mishra back up the inside. Burko's going to lose multiple positions out of that, so he's dropped down to 9th now. As you see, Lion Mitch and Darren Kemp battling out. P9 and Lion Mitch all kinds of sideways. This is Hans Brunswick, their early nemesis in this series already, right behind him. Have to sort out some cameras for these cars. Cast experience. Glenn Miles and back battling it out with Cox trying to recover now. I don't know if he's done any practice around this circuit. Also had Will Devonish move up into second. Peter up into third, and Bolger's dropped down to fourth, so I wonder what has happened here. Okay, so he's already lost out to Devonish and then just outbroke himself a little bit after the back straight there. Allowed Peter to close right up, and then up the inside, and down to fourth place goes Bolger. Spencer still leads, and even though there is no compulsory pit stop in this series, been hearing, may see some drivers, all the drivers having to pit for tyres in this one, so about 13 or 14 laps. The tyre weight's been very, very high at this circuit, which I wouldn't think it would be, but I think the temperatures around here is very, very high. And they're just absolutely tearing up their tyres with 2 times tyre wear enabled on the server. So that is something to look out for, and in these cars, to change tyres, it takes a long time. Fuel shouldn't be an issue, but tyres certainly will be. So we'll see after 6 or 7 laps, lap times start to really drop off, and then those final 5 or 6, they're really going to be hanging on come pit stop time around lap 13 and 14. So Spencer continues to lead. Peter's in no man's land. We also had Redmond get past Bolton. Misha now just breaking away from Burko, who has got himself back up to 7th now after dropping down to 9th the lap ago. So he's got ahead of Turbo on line, Mitch making a move. Well, has just made a move on Brendan Ross. It's the fastest lap of the race for William Spencer. So Mitch now to back up at turn 1. Personal experience, these cars don't have too much slipstream, so you've all got to set it up coming out of the corner to get the good run. You can't rely on just slipstream alone. As Mitch gets the move done at turn 1, always wrecks it. And turn 2, but running wide on the exit of 1. He's got the job done. Now he sets his sights on SYB Racing's Steve Burko in P7. So turbo wide there, a little bit of a lock up. It's encouragement for Brendan Ross and encouragement for Brunswick, who's now 6 spots after his early tangles with Mitch. Brendan Ross a little bit wide there. So going to try and set up a good exit now to the back straight. Wide goes Brendan Ross, and that is all it needs to get ahead. Moves ahead at this back straight chicane. Does have right of way, and there we go. There's Ross lifting out of it. Almost losing the back end there. Bit awkward. So use all the apron on the exit. So very close here in the midfield. It's down in 12th. Darren Kemp out on his own is a little bit ahead of Glenn Miles and Nether, who's recovering. And Cox has now got by Rody and Cracker. With Lockingham also dropping down to 18th place with Bagacino, who hasn't got going. So he initially started from the pits, and unfortunately he's not been able to take part in this one. Good to see Baker following on Twitch. Hope you have been well. Would be good to see you around in a series or 2, maybe even in a guest car. Doesn't have to be full-time Baker, but would be good to see you around again sometime. It's back up at the front, Wayne Spencer, Will Devonish, separated by half a second. They've driven away from Peter on that last lap there. 2.5 seconds, or Peter's 2.5 seconds away from Wayne Spencer in the lead. Perhaps Peter just trying to play the tyre game, play the long game, while these guys are racing hard at the moment. With the fastest lap of the race on that last lap at 23.9 for Wayne Spencer. Devonish very good under braking, but is too good. A light bit of contact with Wayne Spencer, and with a little bit of steering lock on, that sent him around and down into 3rd place. Redmond may even be close enough to have a crack here. But no, not quite close enough, but that's certainly going to make life difficult for Devonish now. He finds himself about 2 seconds behind Peter, and that is a massive free kick for Wayne Spencer in the lead now. He can just take it easy for a lap or 2, give his tyres just a little bit of a breather, and perhaps extend them by a couple laps here. So further back, Mitch now sending it up the inside of turn 1. Steve Burko, a little bit of contact. These two battling out in the championship in Super 2. Burko holds on around the outside, and Mitch does a great job of completely losing control there, running through turn number 2. It's still close enough to try and make a move here. It's turn 5 there. And they've got Mishra right in front as well. So Mishra having his best run at AMSOZ, at least pace-wise here, in the opening stanza in this test round here. And a little bit wide is Burko, and that's invited by Mitch to get a run in. But he isn't able to get it done, but it will compromise Burko onto the back straight. But he's parked his car right in front of Blind Mitch, who's got nowhere to go. And Burko will live to fight another day, but still got the tricky braking zone to deal with after this chicane. And you don't want to do what Mitch did a lap ago, as Blind Mitch out brakes himself. And both Turner and Brunswick and Brendan Ross using all the apron. As Hans looking like he might make a move here. Penultimate corner. Well, Turmo's just outbroke himself. A bit lucky, Hans, that he did. There may have been a little bit of contact there, but there is another position for Hans, and he can set his sights back up into the back of the line. The gap at the front has cut down now to 1.7 seconds. I don't have live races up, and I did think I saw the fastest lap from somebody, but I'm not entirely certain of that. So maybe Pete on that last lap did set a fastest lap, I don't know. Devonish now coming under attack from Redmond, who's been quite impressive in Super 2, and it's good to see him here, albeit in a guest car at the moment in the Porsches. One of AMSOZ's more established drivers under a bit of pressure. It's not letting Devonish get away here. These tyres aren't spinning, these cars are difficult to handle. You don't really get them back. You've got to really treat them with a lot of respect. And that little half spin there certainly won't have helped Devonish's rear tyres as Redmond has a little half spin, and that's going to allow Steve Bolger back up into 4th place. So a number of drivers now struggling as Devonish outbrakes himself. He's on the grass at the penultimate corner, and 2 in 2 for Bolger. He's now going to move up into 3rd place, and Redmond now right back up behind Will Devonish, and in fact, out of all that, Burko's also got himself ahead of Mishra, as has Lime Mitchell. Just have a look at a replay and see what's happened here. So what happened there, and now Brunswick to line up Mishra. So 27 on that lap. He's 2 seconds off what Hans, Burko, and Lime Mitch has done. So not a good lap for him. And same goes for Will Devonish and Tim Redmond. Gap at the front has gone back out, 2.3 seconds again, so Spencer looking to push on as Devonish looking to get back up into 3rd place. And going to try that up and under is Devonish here. He can't go too extreme with it because he has got a car right behind him. Close enough at the chicane this time around. He may try and make a move in the braking zone after this. In fact, no, it's going to be Redmond up the inside, and thank you very much, just clean as a whistle. Devonish will try and strike back. We'll go side by side. So good racing for P4. Gives Bolger a little bit of breathing room, but not much. Burko is starting to ease up in the back of these guys as they battle as Devonish all kinds of sideways in the final corner. Struggling for rear tyres, I'd imagine. And again, that gives Bolger a little bit of breathing room into turn 1. Oh, and it's a big lockup. He's just going to be able to pull it up, is Bolger. So he's just hanging on for dear life. Devonish going to try and go around the outside, but he might compromise himself here. Redmond's right there to pounce. Again, he's going to try and send it here into that's T4, T5 there. It's Bolger just carrying a little bit more speed into the corner, able to hold on for now. And Redmond a little bit wide there on the grass, and almost into the back of Devonish, and Bolger right there with him now. It was a 2-car battle pack, and it's morphed into 3, and well, now it's 5 because Lime Mitch is onto the back of Steve Burko as well. Big battle here for the final spot on the podium. They're side by side through the chicane. Mishra not too far away, as is Brennan Roche and Turmo, so this back pack could expand. It's Bolger holding on for now. Devonish having a look at the inside, but not deep enough under brakes. Bolger will have the inside for the final corner as well, and it is a very long radius corner, so you can't really hang on around the outside as Burko is trying to force a move. Redmond not quite able to pull it off, and side by side now into turn 1. Devonish going to try and go around the outside again, another long radius corner, but he will have the inside for turn 2 if he can hold on, which he has done. Redmond's going to try and follow him. So we might see Bolger lose 2 spots here. Burko's also on the outside. It's almost NASCAR style running here with the 2 crews running. But Redmond up a spot, Devonish up a spot. And that's Bolger down 2. a little bit of contact between Burko and Lime Mitch, but no spin, thankfully. Devonish finally back up into third, Redmond up into fourth, Bolger back down to fifth, Burko sixth, Lime Mitch seventh, then we have Brunswick, Mishra, Ross, and then Turmo. Got a spinner, it's Redmond has gone around, and Bolger's done a good job there avoiding the incident, as has Burko, so we'll just try and cut to a replay and find what happened there. Redmond just outbroke himself. Well, he's done what Devonish did earlier on in the race, except a little bit of a bigger hit. And, well, he's going to form up now back in 10th place at the end of that queue. And we've had Lime Mitch get by Burko after all that as well. Burko just outbrake himself a little bit. Lime Mitch was a little bit sideways as well, across the corner, but gets the job done, and he's also got the job done by the looks of Bolger turn one, so cut to that replay as well. Skip ahead. And yeah, Bolger, big lock up into turn one with Lime Mitch alongside him. And there we go, and we've actually seen Bolger lose another spot. He might lose another to Hans, who's close right up to the back of this queue as well. And we've got Lime Mitch all over the back of Devonish now, so I think Devonish may have made a mistake somewhere, or he's just struggling for rear tyre. And so he's under all kinds of pressure at the moment. Now two Super 2 championship leaders at the moment right behind him. And Bolger, GT3 World Series champion. Brunswick, Mishra, Ross, and Redmond. Gap at the front sort of remains stagnant, about 2.2 seconds as Lime Mitch has a look up the inside of Devonish, not quite close enough to worry Devonish all that much. Lime Mitch a little bit wide there. Looks like he's just trying to get a late apex and get a good run out of the final corner. Didn't quite get it right this time. In fact, there's quite a bit there. Start finish line, perhaps a little bit of rubber banding lag, and got Peter has he was in P2, he's down in P10. A number of drivers, yep, there we go, in the pit. So Peter into the pits, also got Brendan Ross in the pits at the halfway mark, so we might see them try and undercut. We've got Netherrealm entering the pit lane as well. So will we see? So Grant Wise also getting ready for pits. Wayne Spencer now entering into the pits. It is a very long pit stop in these Boxer Cup cars. Very long pit, so you see, looks like Turmo we have a battle with Cracker there. So now that Brendan Ross only now just leaving the pit, so it's about, if you fill up and change tyres, pretty much just changing tyres on your own. It's about 30 seconds if you change all four. So, not sure how the tyres would be in these cars. I'd say the rears, being a rear engine car, would be fairly worn out as well, and the front right would also be fairly worn as well. But Peter on this outlap, it's vitally important that he puts it all together. It's also vitally important that all these guys that are entering the pits at the same time have very, very good in-laps. Brunswick going around again, so he's either going to try and make his tyres last, or he's just trying to get some clear air. So Devonish, he's going around again. And Redmond also entering into the pit. A bit awkward there for Lime Mitch and Bolger. But the man to watch is going to be Spencer and Peter. So Peter at the moment is coming around up to the penultimate corner. And Spencer has got Mishra in his way, and he's just driven through him there, so the damage shouldn't affect him too badly, either car too badly, but it did cost him just a little bit of time. There's Peter right there, and Peter, he might sneak into the lead, and Spencer has got a drive-through penalty, so that undercut did work in the end anyway, but perhaps Spencer just entering into the pit lane a little bit too quickly has given himself a drive-through penalty. And out of all that as well, Burko has moved up into what may end up being a net second place. We still have got Hans and a number of drivers, top 5, all yet to pit. So Will Devonish, Hans Brunswick, Darren Kemp, Daniel Cox and Tim Redmond all yet to pit. Looks like these guys, Brunswick's going around again, so he might just try and nurse his car as far as possible and have some really good tyres at the end, as we see now. Will Devonish into the pits. So Darren Cox a little bit wide there. Whitmore, I think another one who's yet to pit. We see drivers perhaps pitting and just taking a chance and changing only a front set or a rear set. That is another question. That will make your pit stop quite a bit faster. And I wonder if drivers have also just tanked up as well to try and save as much time. We've got Devonish now away and running. There's Peter off in the background, and Peter will get him. There's Wayne Spencer now. I think Burko is going to be in a net second. It's going to be tight. Now, he has got the outside at turn 1, but he's on warmer tyres. I don't believe these cars have tyre blankets, and there we go, up into a net second place. And Bolger now looking to make a move on Devonish as soon as possible. Now Devonish will have much better tyres at the end of the race, but this next half a lap, it's vital for Lion Mitch and Steve Bolger to get a move done, but they're battling each other. And it looks like we've got a little bit of lap traffic there, so that's Glenn Miles in the mix of it as well. It's Lion Mitch to make life difficult for Will Devonish, but good strategy from these guys. A little bit of an undercut. We've given them track position for now, but they will have to deal with worse off tyres at the end of the race. Now, Lion Mitch very away there. That'll be, I'd assume that'll be a track cut. And Devonish just having a little bit of a look there. Miles just getting out of the way for the leaders, thankfully. Oh, he's had a half spin, and we thought for a second he's going to spear into the side of Bolger, but thankfully avoids him. And got yellows out, and that's Wayne Spencer now entering the pits. There is 40 boards right there, and he's slowed down well beyond that. It's the fastest lap for Lion Mitch, 23.5, so he's wasting no time at all. So you don't want to waste up all your tyres. You are going to want some at the end, because we did see that the lap time drop off be quite severe at the end of that first stint. So that said, Devonish on what is going to be better tyres. He has to strike soon, and well, offs like that aren't going to help his cause at all. Just skip ahead. We've got Whitmore and Peter battling it out. Now Whitmore has yet to pit, and Peter trying to get the job done, but he's being held up, and well, exactly what he doesn't need. He wants to just stretch away from Burko and Devonish in particular. And being stuck behind Whitmore may bring Hans Brunswick into play here. If he does decide to pit, we'll just skip ahead. No, he's going to try and make his tyres last. So he's got 6 laps to go. Well, the gap was 4 seconds, more than 4 seconds between Peter and Burko. It was 2.5 to last split, and I think it's going to be a lot less than that now. So 24.9 compared to a 23.1 for Burko. Fastest lap of the race, as we've got Peter looking to make a move at turn 1. A little bit sideways there with Whitmore. I think he might have to get out. Yeah, there we go. He's forced a little bit of a mistake, or perhaps a little bit of contact there, but eventually Peter just having to just send it and get the job done. So I think it was just a little bit of a serve there, but Whitmore did cut across the front with Peter Savage there, and now we've got Burko, a bit of contact with Whitmore, and Devonish as well on the outside. A bit awkward here, and I don't know if that was contact. We just cut to a replay there as Whitmore goes around, or if that was just it was a little bit of contact. Burko's sort of gone half round. He's trying to, I guess, redress, but Whitmore has just parked it, and he's going to give up there by the look of it. maybe a little bit unhappy with that, but when you're on old tyres, like guys on new ones, trying to battle them does make it a bit awkward. Hans, again, he's going around, so his strategy, he's going to try and make his tyres last. He's got Peter, who's his, well, Redmond also his biggest rival, I'd say. Redmond has yet to pit as well, I believe. And Redmond 3 seconds ahead of Sav. Well, it was 3 seconds, it's a lot less than that now. He's getting lapped. So Redmond and Peter are the biggest rivals for Brunswick, even though Kemp has yet to pit as well, but his pace isn't quite as good. And Redmond a little bit sideways there. He's on old tyres. He's able to hold on to it. Got yellows out as well further back, and that's Bolger that's gone around. So what has happened here? He's just gassed it up under pressure. And that's dropped him behind his teammate. And behind Wayne Spencer, who's trying to recover as well. Down to 11th after that drive through. Wayne Spencer will be kicking himself for that one. Otherwise he'll be battling for potential lead. We have got Peter that has moved up now into third. So he has got by Redmond. So it's cut to a replay. So it looks like he's going to get the move done. Yeah, at the penultimate corner there. And now Peter looking to move up into second place ahead of Kemp. Kemp goes defensive, forcing Peter to go around the outside. 25-6 for him. He thought he wasn't going to be able to pull it up, but he has. As well, Kemp goes around there. And he's on old tyres, don't forget. And around he goes. Hopefully rejoins the track. He does rejoin the track in a safe manner, but Mishra will get by. Now Peter got 28 seconds between himself and Brunswick, who's committed to this no-stop strategy. And as you can see, Brunswick just taking it ever so easy at the moment. He did lose time early on in the race, don't forget, as well. But yeah, lost himself about 3 seconds. I'm guessing he would have had a spin somewhere, or half spin on that last lap to lose that much time. But at the same time, he's on very worn tyres, so we'll just see what his lap time is going to be. 26 seconds at the second sector, 29 for him, so he's 5 seconds off the pace. And well, 5 seconds. Well, that's compared to his best lap. What does Peter do as he crosses the start-finish line? Is it 4 or 5 seconds a lap? Peter may just close him down, but Hans still has to make his tyres last to the end. So across the line, 24.4. So yeah, about 5 seconds faster. Probably need to find a little bit extra at Will Peter, but at the same time, Hans is only going to get slower from here on out, and that's if his tyres last. So if he does do it, it'll be a strategic masterstroke, especially given the fact that he had lost a bit of time early on in the race. So if he hadn't have lost that time, he would have had more breathing room. But as I've seen Misha there just drop a couple of spots, so he's had a spin, and so I've got another couple of battles forming. So we'll just see. Yeah, he's just ran wide on the grass. Thankfully avoided everybody, and got Lion Mitch off with the boonies as well. So he was right behind Burko, ran a little bit wide exit turn one, and he's just lost it under braking at turn 4, and thankfully avoided drivers. Got Brendan Ross trying to put Burko under pressure in P5. They're closing down Tim Redmond. And we've got Devonish now back up into P3 after all of that. Peter now has gained a few seconds on this lap, so the gap down to 20 seconds. 1 minute 30.5 on that last lap for Hans, as we see Peter now coming out of the final corner. And 24.2 for him. Got yellow flags out in sector 1. 18 seconds. The race still isn't over yet. Also got Burko closing in on Redmond, who has another half spin. He's another one that has elected not to pit to change tyres. situation for Redmond. And he could lose out quite a number of spots. Burko for sure should get him if he doesn't make a mistake. And we do have yellow flags out again in that middle sector. And yeah, as you can see, Redmond just struggling. Can't get any drive out of the corners. Cannot trust the rear tyres at all. Burko gets by up into fourth. And it's only a matter of time, one feels, before Rossi is able to do the same. It's at the front, the gap down to 14 seconds at the second split. This is going to be a very, very tight finish. If Peter catches the back of Hans, it's all over. And a 1 minute 32.5 for Hans. As Peter goes around to lap Daniel Cox over the line, Peter, and it will be another 24.29. So very, very consistent. And 24.4 for Devonish. These guys duked it out in GT3 in the World Series quite a lot in the second half of the season. They're duking it out here in the Porsches, but they've got 9 seconds to close down. And Hans has got, well, a lap and 2/3 to go. And you can see Peter in the background. I don't think Hans is going to make it. He's travelling very, very slowly. I think he may even have a puncture. He's going that slow. Certainly not confident at all. So he will, for sure, I have no doubt, will lose out to Peter and Devonish. See, there's first, second, and third. And then you've got Cox lap traffic there. He's down in 15th. He joined late, so he hasn't done any practice. And then there's Burko back there. So that's really, realistically, where Hans will hope to finish in front of. Because he's, as you can see, there's Peter into the lead. And if he had that clean run early on, he would have given himself every opportunity to pull off the no-stop. Devonish will get by him, but he does have about 9 or so seconds, so 35.8. And we'll just see what Burko does on this lap. So 24.8 for him. As there it is. There's Devonish now up into P2. We've had Redmond also drop back, and he's gone around again. Because a sector earlier, 25 seconds off the lead, and well, he's actually going to go into the pit, so I think he's got a puncture. Looked like he'd selected to pit. Now that recovering, he's trying to get by Kemp, who's also yet to pit. 30.4 for Kemp on that last lap. He's locked up a little bit further up though. Also had Wayne Spencer recover after his drive-through. He's not going to be able to get by Ross without mistake, but still a nice recovery drive. And Hans now looks like he's just pushing a little bit more on this lap compared to the last lap, and he will hold on, or maybe not. He's still got 2 corners. I think that tyre's gone actually. It looked like that rear ride had just gone underneath him and sunk into the ground. He's struggling mightily here. He's got Daniel Cox holding him up. And yep, that tyre's gone. You can see that smoke. That tyre has gone. Burko's going to get him. They're both going to sort of half spin. Around goes Hans. He couldn't quite make the tyres work. And he's giving Ross nowhere to go. And well, Wayne Spencer out of all that is going to recover. So that will be a little bit of a warning for Hans. As you can see, his tyre is gone. Did try to make the no-stop work. And well, he'll come home one place lower than where he qualified. But still a fair effort from Hans there. But Peter Savage taking the win here in the feature race. Caruaru. Steve Burko, in fact, coming home in P2. Devonish ran out of fuel before the start-finish line. And, well, who would believe it? Who would believe it? And Spencer recovering home to finish in P4 in the end. So good recovery after his drive-through. He certainly would have been battling Peter for the victory had he not just sped in pit lane. So great drive nonetheless. Ross would have finished in front of him, but unfortunately had nowhere to go after Hans went around. And Hans went around because, of course, his tyre failed, but still a good P6 in the end. Mishra, nice P7 from him in the end. Turbo finishing in P9. Bolger, he'll be picking what could have been. He finished down in P9. Kemp, great result from him in 10th place. He finished in front of Netherrealm in 11th, who started from the back of the field. Then we have Rody in 12th. Redmond eventually finishing 13th, another one on the no-strop strategy. And then we have Cox having a little bit of fun there, down in 14th. Cracker in 15th, he joined in the warm-up session, so it was good effort from him to get around and finish the race. Lachlan Locke finishing in 16th. Lime Mitch finishing down in 17th, so he had an excursion that we didn't pick up on. And then Glenn Miles in 18th, and Whitmore the first of the two non-finishers. So, well, has to be said, action-packed and certainly mixed up race one here in the test round. So hopefully we see some more racing like this throughout the Antara Boxer Cup by Automobilista Australia. Now, we'll just take a short break as we have to sort out the server, restart the server, so the lap count has changed, as well as sorting out the grid for race 2. So don't go anywhere, but we'll just be taking a short break. See you in 5. Right, and welcome back. Just a few minutes away. A couple minutes left in the warm-up. So we'll just jump in there and see what the lads are doing out there. But man on screen, race 1 winner, or the winner of the feature race, Peter, able to close down and get by Hans, who did try the no-stop strategy, but ran out of tyres the last couple of laps, was unable to hold on in the end. His tyre in fact failing with 2 corners to go. But the second race is shorter, is a sprint race. I'll just double check the server has the right settings, so just bear with me for a moment. Has been short. So race 1 was 22 laps, race 2 is 15. So we will see some spills, no doubt, where we're not going to see people out there pitting this time. But those tyres at the end of the race aren't going to be in very good nick. So that is going to be something to look out for. Perhaps it might pay early on just to look after those rear tyres in particular, just so you've got just a little bit of something to fight with at the end of the race. Darren Kemp there on screen. Great effort from him, finishing in the top 10. And Misha also having a really good run as well. So it's good to see these newcomers out here having a crack, and also good to see him in the top 10. Misha having one of his best runs in all the racing he's done with this, so good to see. Bodger will be looking for a little bit of redemption, as will Termo and Redmond, as once again Line Mitch goes for a little bit of a twirl there. And this corner in particular, not so much the chicane, but certainly the braking point here has been a tricky one. Caught out Will Devonish, and it also caught out Tim Redmond, as Line Mitch goes to Sepulku, whatever it's called. Curie. And hopefully my mic this time is a little bit louder for you guys. I did receive a message during the initial part of the broadcast saying it was a little bit quiet, but at the end of the warm-up session, or as time expires anyway, Peter, fastest man with 23.2, followed by Burko, Redmond, Cracker and Limich. Only 5 drivers, 2 set of time. Do have Nether out there, we'll just follow him to the start-finish line, see how he goes. But as I cycle through these cameras, I'm definitely going to go about making some onboards for these cars, like I did with supercars and with TCR as well, because a lot of these cameras are unnecessary, and we don't have the really cool ones that are on board or on the roof looking down. But session has ticked over for the shorter sprint race, being 15 laps long, of the Antara Boxer Cup here from Caruaru in Brazil. So Termo will be the man to lead us away here, finishing in 8th in race 1. Mishra finishing in 7th means he will start alongside him in 2nd. Although it's a little bit unfair that this first has got the all on his own there. Something seems a little bit odd, because I do recall Devonish. I swear Devonish had grid to his own. In fact, let's have a look. No, that is how the grid is here, so there you go. First has a bit of an advantage at this part, at this track, and then the rest of the grid is evenly staggered. There you go. Another one of these quirks of this Caruaru circuit. But anyway, Termo will lead the field away in the second sprint race here, followed by Urjit Mishra. And they have Hans Brunswick in 3rd. Brendan Ross will start in 4th place. And up and down there in race number 1 in the feature race, Wayne Spencer is one to look out for. Won't have to worry about pitting this time unless he has a big accident or he desperately needs tyres. but he'll certainly be out for redemption in this one, and if he can get another start like he did in race 1, could see him move up a couple of spots for turn 1. Devonish, another one to, another one out for a little bit of redemption after running out of fuel coming out of the final corner, so that's why he starts in 6th. Burko taking 2nd at the line, and then our race 1 Peter will start in 8th. Steve Bolger just missing out on the reverse top 8. He will start in 9th place, but he'll be looking to make amends for the mistakes that he made there in race number 1. Kemp, he'll start from 10th place, followed by Netherelmian in 11th, and we've got Rody in 12th. Redmond, after not pitting, fell away badly at the end of race 1 there, so look out for him early on in this one to make up positions. Daniel Cox in his nice level will start 14th in this one. Cracker, another late joiner, he'll start in 15th. Lachlan Lock in 16th, followed by Liam Mitch, Glenn Miles, and yes, we only have 18 runners for race 2 here. We have had Bagaccino, who did not start. He was in the server and looked like he was going to start from the pits, but he was unable to make the start. And I've also had I think either Manuel Centino or someone else drop out as well, because they've only got 18 for this one. Still, very good grid size, and hopefully some more fantastic racing here with 15 laps to go. Or 15 laps here in this sprint race. The lights are on. Fish was rolling. Away we go, and then he's sort of stalled there. Well, sort of balked Ross a little bit, but didn't cost him too badly. Brunswick up into P2, and there's Wayne very late on the brakes, and he maybe even given Hans a hit. He certainly gave Devonish and Ross a bit of a hit. Contact between Bolger and I think that's Burko, Bolger and Burko there. So it's a hectic start here. Burko, Ross side by side. Right in front of them is Wayne Spencer. Got Brunswick looking to make a move back on Devonish, who goes around the outside. So we'll just have a look and see how that all eventuated. So there we go. Devonish just up the inside, gets the job done. Spencer now having a look up the inside of Hans. Really a place to want to do it, but he's going to try. Burko also very committed through there. Devonish pushing hard early. Termo has done what he's needed to do. He's got a nice clean getaway, but 15 laps is a long stint on these tyres, so how hard do you go early is the big question. With Brunswick and only a couple others really that went that 15 laps long in race 1 or longer. And Burko's wide there, he's on the grass. So just cut to a little bit of a replay just to see. He just outbroke himself and got on the marble. So he's down to 11th ahead of his teammate. Misha right behind Redmond, who's up 5 spots at the start. Line Mitch doing what he does best, up 10. Peter's only up 2, looking to make a move, and he should pull it up on Ross at turn 1. But Ross hanging around the outside. Will have the inside for 2, but Peter going to try and hold on around the outside. He's got the job done, so good move, good racing between those two. Gave each other space and respect, and in the end Peter just able to stave off and Ross and claim P5. And Devonish now into the lead. So we'll just cut to a replay. So he looked to make a move around the outside at turn 1. He had the inside for turn 2. And then Termo did try and get a move back on him, but wasn't able to do it. And a little bit wide there for Termo at the back straight. Got Spencer right behind him with Brunswick in tow. And Spencer up the inside. Can he pull it up? It was a bit wide there, and Termo, well, he's going to claim that position back. A little bit of door banging, and he'll have the inside for the penultimate corner. And Termo up the inside. Contact between Spencer and Brunswick, and Termo there just running wide. So again, we'll just cut to a short little replay. It's all happening here early. So yeah, Termo just outbroke himself, and now he's down to 4th place, and Peter's getting a jiggle on and trying to put him under a bit of pressure now. As you can see, very hot and heavy here in the top 11. Kemp there in 12th. followed by Cox, Rody, Locke, Nether, who's had a poor start in this one, so I'm not sure what's happened there, but he's dropped all the way down to 16th. He did start in 11th, but Spencer not really letting Devonish get away. Spencer was running in a legitimate P2. In fact, he was running in the lead in the first half up until the pit stop phase where Peter undercut him. And subsequently, Spencer coming into the pits too hot gave himself a drive-through penalty which ruined his race. So he has got pace. It's good to see another front runner emerge in this series. Not just the usual names, but a few others, with Brunswick and Spencer throwing their hats into the ring. Turmo's done a little bit better on this lap, but still coming under pressure now. A race 1 winner. And hot and heavy behind Redmond there. Lion Mitch, Mishra, Bolger and Burko. Battle of the Stoives. And Peter right behind Turmo. Look to bide his time here. Didn't see on the last lap, not Devon's fastest lap of the race. I believe it's 23.4. Turmo a little bit wide there. Try and set up a decent exit, but he can't quite get the nose in. He's sort of just wobbling in the mid corner there, so struggling quite a bit at the moment is Turmo. Savage unable to make him pay, at least for now. But there's our race leader. There's second and third and fourth and fifth, and we've got Lion Mitch side by side with Redmond. Now drivers were told whoever was ahead at the chicane, it was their corner. We had Ross around as well, so just cut. So Ross, he just lost it on his own, and Mishra unfortunately nowhere to go, and Burko and Bolger involved in that one. But now that is meant to be Redmond's corner, and my Mitch didn't lift, so he will have a warning for that one. Even though he made the move stick, we see Peter now ahead of Turmo. It's just like, I believe it's turn 8 at Adelaide. There is a ruling in place where whoever has the lead up into that corner with 100 metres to go, it is their corner. It's there for a reason. We don't want to see drivers end up side by side through there in the car on the outside, ending up into space. So Devon is just edging away. Tenths on that last lap. 1.7 seconds now. It was 1.4 a lap ago. So he's just edging away. Obviously it doesn't help that Spencer under pressure from Brunswick. Not letting Spencer get away. It will be interesting to see what Peter can do down there in P4. So we've got Kemp and Cox battling it out here. DK versus DC for P11, or P10 I should say. And Bolger, who was one of the cars caught up in that little incident, down in 12th. So it hasn't been an ideal start from him. He's got pace in these things, but hasn't been able to show it. With a bit of bad luck so far. Cracker doing a good job there in 13th. We've got Locke and Miles battling it out there for 14th place as well. Rody's dropped down to 16th. We've got Ross out and Nether out, unfortunately. So not good to see. And in fact, the gap at the front's come down by 7/10 of a second. So I'm not exactly sure what's happened. Just cut and see. No, it wasn't there. But earlier on, well, Devonish has made a mistake somewhere. And then he's brought the gap straight back out again to 1.9. So maybe just a timing glitch, or maybe he did make a mistake and subsequently Wayne Spencer's made a mistake. Oh, in fact, a bit wide there again, Devonish, so you may see that gap come down once again. And he's struggling there on the exit, so perhaps he's just overdriving his car at the moment. Certainly looking like he's using his rear tyres. Now, drivers were struggling 13, 14 laps in. This is a 15-lap race. You're not going to want to pit it. It's going to cost you 30 plus seconds. And driving the way Devonish is at the moment may not be the fastest way around. It might be quick and help him around in the early stages, but come the end of the race, we may see him struggle a little bit more than those guys behind him. So keep an eye on Peter. He's been driving a little bit smoother than most. He's taken his time getting through the field and hasn't looked to be sliding anywhere, unlike a few of the others out there. But nice little battle pack forming here now behind Turmo for P5. 26-1, 25-1 for Lymitch, 24-9 and a 24-1. So the fastest man of this pack is at the back of it. So should see some fireworks here. So yeah, getting some stutters here, so I apologise. Hopefully it sorts itself out. 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th right there. And got Kemp and Bolger battling it out here for the final spot in the top 10 as well. Kemp going defensive. Bolger just straight around the outside. Thank you very much. That's a very nice move. And I'm sure for a split second he would have been hoping that Kemp behind him didn't just lock up or sail into the side of him. But great driving. We got that is, I think that looked like Cox sort of had a little half spin there. No, that's just my eyes deceiving me. My apologies. Oh, and we've got Turmo and Lymitch side by side. And Redmond's looking to get in on that action. All these guys raced together in Super 2. We'll just cut to a replay. So into the penultimate corner, Lymitch just sent it up the inside, side by side. And Redmond, in fact, able to get by as well, so cut to that as well. Redmond, now it's a hole around the outside there. And that's Turmo down 2 spots. Now he's got Burko right behind him. Now what can Redmond and Lymitch do? It's Wayne Spencer and Brunswick still battling out. A little bit of a mistake there from Spencer. Balked Hans as well. They've just lost a little bit of touch now. The gap 2.6 seconds of Devonish in front. Perhaps these guys just over driving a little bit, using up a little bit more of their rear tyres. Redmond and Lymitch duking it out now, and we have seen Burko get by Turmo as well, so where has that happened? Leading onto the back straight, Turmo turning in a little bit too early from a shallow angle and was understeering wide, and Burko takes the easiest position he'll get all day. And now he can join this fun little battle pack between Tim Redmond and Lymitch. Certainly be hoping to get one on Lymitch just to form a little bit of a psychological edge going into the rest of the Super 2 season. There's a little bit of a slide there for Lymitch at turn 1, and a big slide on the exit, able to hold it, but his rear tyres aren't going to like that at all. And looks like Pete on that last lap, pretty poor lap. He's lost a bit of time, 6.6 now behind Devonish, so perhaps my prediction's not ringing true. Devonish just eking away. Still got a few laps to go though, and these tyres aren't going to be in any decent shape. We've got the yellows out, and I wonder if that was Pete that had a little half spin just ahead of him down the road. So we'll just cut to a replay. Was it him? No, someone behind. Must have been Miles there in the sticks entry. It's an intriguing battle here. A little bit further back, Kemp hasn't really let Bolger get away here, and these guys have moved up, so I've seen Mishra now drop out of the top 10, 24.5, so his personal best. I reckon Mishra has pitted here. Just whacked a fresh set on. There is no compulsory pit stop, but perhaps he's just wanting just to drive as fast as he can at the end of the race here. So that's moved a few guys up, and Kemp doing a good job holding on and pressurising the GT3 World Series champion, and Cracker not too far away as well. So a bit of a nightmare here for Bolger at the moment. fastest lap, certainly considerably faster than Kemp's in behind, but Kemp, he's been much more consistent. 26.1 is his fastest lap compared to a 24 for Bolger, but Kemp still remaining in the 26s while Bolger unable to get into the 25s on that last lap. And so Lyman's just breaking away now. The back of Redmond starting to close in on the back of Peter, who is starting to struggle a little bit. Gap between himself and the leader now, 7.5 seconds. Brunswick still closely trailing Lane Spencer. And that gap is halved, so Devonish at 27 on that last lap. And there it is, he's had an off. Just his braking point by the looks of it in the penultimate corner. Didn't have a spin, but certainly not ideal. And that's going to put a lot more pressure on him in these last 4.5 laps. He's able to edge away in that first sector again, but that gap a lot closer than what it was. And just going to encourage Spencer and Brunswick in behind just to keep going here and to keep at it. And that is the top 7 all right through there. And there's Turmo there in 8th. First, second and third. There's Pete in 4th, centering the shot. And again, Devonish just able to stretch away in that second sector. He can't afford any more of those errors. Otherwise he'll find himself under attack from behind. Or perhaps even down the spot. So Devonish 24.5 to a 25.0, 25.2 for Brunswick. And a 24.5 for Peter. So Peter now just starting to speed up a little bit, but he's got a couple of cars to clear before he can even consider putting our race leader under pressure. And Lime Mitch now once again under pressure from Redmond in behind. It's close enough to send it is Redmond, but just biding his time. Looking to double apex his left-hander, while Redmond just tucking in a little bit closer. Again, Mitch using more of the road, and that compromises his run through the middle. And Redmond able to get alongside. And again, a shallow entry means he's going to get a poorer exit this line. Mitch. Now, will we see Redmond repay the favour here? He sort of backs out of it, but we may see him just, no, he's just going to bide his time, perhaps just wait for the penultimate corner. There's a little bit of a slide again for Lime Mitch, and it's wide again as well. And again, Redmond still a little bit conservative here, and we've got Brunswick and Spencer a lot closer together, and Devonish has been able to stretch away, so perhaps a mistake from Spencer in the middle sector here. And seen second, third, and also fourth much closer together. So again, 24.6 for our race leader, 24.6 for Peter, but he's out of position in 4th place with 12 laps completed. It's the battle for 5th place. Redmond still trailing Lime Mitch very, very closely here. And again, all kinds of sideways. Looks to be just hanging on at the moment. Verco is right there as well. And no confidence to get the power down, and Redmond now slight overlap. And he's going to try and repay the favour here. Does concede, but this time he does have a look. I think more defensive than offensive. He's just waiting for that poor exit from Lime Mitch, who has struggled there. That corner. and doesn't send at the penultimate corner, so he's just biding his time. The gap at the front still extending out, so Devonish looking comfortable for a race win at the moment. And Brunswick, again, just not quite fast enough in that final sector. These guys in the high 25s this time, and a 25-0 for Peter this time by. And defensive into turn 1 for Lime Mitch. He's going to be compromised a little bit, and again, he tries to get that late apex going, but massive oversteer on the exit, and there it is. There's the mistake Redmond was looking for. And well, Lime Mitch is going to try and fight it, but you don't want to fight it too hard because he might find himself down another spot here. And I think, oh, there may have been contact. In fact, there was a little half spin there for Burko. And just jump on board here and just see what had happened. So, Redmond here. That's their contact. Yes, there was. And that sends Redmond around, and Lime Mitch looks to have redressed that position. And that, well, that's a free kick for Burko out of half spin of his own. So he's up to P5 now, but he's well out of contention of catching Peter in this one. The gap now 4.7 between Devonish and Spencer. But Spencer just doing enough to hold on to P2. Brunswick just hasn't been able to get close enough when it mattered, but on the final lap now, 25.2, plays 25.6, 25.9 and 26.7 for Peter on that last lap, so not a good lap for Peter. Peter being able to match what he'd been doing earlier on, he'd be right there with Hans, but unable to do it. You'll need a little bit of luck now to sneak onto the podium, but there's a lot of worn tyres out there, so you never know. And there's Peter off again. Just right on board. JB Hi-Fi Porsche. Yeah, looks like he just missed his braking point. And, well, that pretty much means he's going to finish in 4th unless he has another mistake or some catastrophic bad luck from one of our runners out in front. Devonish, only a few corners to go for him, and he'll take the victory here. Just set up with his very good start, and Brunswick trying all he can now to try and set up a move in the penultimate corner. It's not going to be close enough. He's just going to show his nose, try and force a mistake, but again, not quite close enough, but still a good solid night for Brunswick. Couldn't quite make it work in race 1 though, but Devonish will win here in the sprint race in the Antara Boxer Cup. Spencer will redeem himself with a nice 2nd place in race 2. Brunswick will round out the podium in 3rd, with Peter finishing in 4th place. Burko will round out a pretty solid night from him there in P5. Redmond will cross the line in 6th. Lime Mitch in 7th, with Timo now just exiting the final corner. And the battle of the D's, so DK is going to be DC, so he has got ahead of Steve Bolger, and he's just got 1 corner to traverse, so great night for Darren Kemp, 2 top 10s for him. For Start Your Bastard Racing, so great effort from him, and Bolger will finish in 10th, and he's about to show his displeasure with his results by taking out all these boards and then cut half the track. Daniel Cox will finish 11th in race 2, followed by Daniel Locke in 12th, just coming around the final corner. 237 Racing, and then Mishra coming home in 13th. We have Cracker in 14th. He's struggling along out there. He was actually closing in on the battle between Bolger and Kemp, so he's made a couple of mistakes towards the back end of this race, but he'll still cross the line in 14th. Rody a lap down in 15th, and Miles a lap or 2 down in 16th, with both Brendan Ross and Netherland unfortunately retiring. So that is the test round done and dusted here with the Antara Boxer Cup, hosted by Automobilista Australia. Some good night's racing, has to be said. This circuit, I don't think it's going to be too. I don't think there's too much you can really take away from the racing. I don't think we will see too many pit stops in the feature races, but we will see obviously come rounds 2 and 3 whether that happens. But I think this track, for whatever reason, just very very high tyre wear. But did see the no stopper almost pull it home in race 1, but his tyre failing just at the end there with Hans, and same with Redmond as well. He just fell off right at the end, couldn't quite make it work. It did make for some good racing and some really good, intriguing strategies and racing at the end, which hopefully we see in the season proper, which starts in 2 weeks' time. Will be hosted on this channel, and hopefully I will have Floody alongside me in the commentary box. So yeah, in 2 weeks' time, the Boxer Cup will begin, and that will be at the Long Beach Circuit. And that's going to be very, very interesting nights racing, seeing those cars around that circuit, that's for sure. And round two is at Road Atlanta. So we've got our American leg up first, and then we've got Autopolis round 3 on the first of the night. Then we have Queensland Raceway and Surfers Paradise Street Circuit. That's the current modern layout that's been modified. That is a feature sprint, or the alternate layout on that one. And then we have the mini endurance race on the 13th of the 10th from Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, or Imola. And then we have the Snetterton circuit with the feature and sprint layout on the 27th of the 10th, followed by Alton Park as the penultimate round, and the final round at the Nürburgring sprint layout with the F1 or Grand Prix chicane. Anyway, from myself, Lewis Wedding, hope to see you in a couple weeks' time. Of course, we do have the Automobile Industry Australia Supercar Championship coming up on Thursday night. That'll be hosted on the Outworld broadcast channel, so do catch it on Thursday night. We also, I do believe, have the ATCC tomorrow night. I can't remember what channel that's hosted on, but that is around for some Automobile Industry Australia racing. Anyway, you shall catch the Boxer Cup in 2 weeks' time. Until then, have a good one.